tuning in to Wednesday's edition of Quick Morning. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Let's get started first up with the top stories. BJP has announced a 12-hour bandh across Bengal today, accusing police of excessive force during Nabanna operation, the rally that was held. In response, the state government has petitioned the High Court to block the bandh, claiming it disrupts public life and economic activities, especially with the puja season approaching. Further, the state minister has criticized the bandh as a political stunt, asserting that Bengal's economy is strong and that the Chief Minister's administration has made such bandhs ineffective in the past as well. Meanwhile, the High Court has agreed to hear the case today itself. Abhaya's father has condemned the official accounts of his daughter's case, alleging that there were no barricades or police cordons at the crime scene as reported. He even described the situation as chaotic, with body left exposed, potentially compromising evidence. He criticized statements by Indra Mukherjee and Kunal Ghosh, arguing that claims that the case is an isolated incident. Abhaya's mother, on the other hand, has supported the ongoing protest for justice, emphasizing the demand for fair treatment over political maneuvering. The family insists that they were barred from viewing their daughter's body and accused the police of mishandling the entire case, pledging to continue their fight for justice. The top court has granted bail to BRS leader K. Kavita in the Delhi excise policy case. The court has reprimanded the CBI and the ED for their handling of the investigation. K. Kavita Note, who has been in custody for 5 months, had her bail denied earlier by Delhi High Court. Meanwhile, top court's decision overturned this denial of bail, noting that the investigation was complete. K. Kavita had been arrested by the ED in the month of March and by the CBI in the month of April over alleged corruption and money laundering linked to the now scrapped Delhi excise policy. She has consistently denied the charges, claiming that the case against her has been part of a political conspiracy orchestrated by the ruling party and aided by the ED.
We are always tough. We are fighters. We will fight it out legally. We will fight it out politically. We were always tough. By sending us to jail illegally, they've only made PRS and KCR's team unbreakable.
The CBI, meanwhile, has alleged in a Delhi court that the funds from excise policy scam were used as per Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's directives, including the promise of 90 lakh each to candidates in the Goa elections. Now, the CBI submission came as the court extended Kejriwal's judicial custody until 3rd of September. The agency has argued that Vijay Nair, a co-accused in this case, was approached by the Delhi Chief Minister to negotiate with a cartel known as South Group, which allegedly paid 100 crore rupees as kickbacks for liquor licenses. The CBI also claimed that the election funds were managed by AAP MLA Durgesh Pathak and that all transactions were made in the case in cash, beg your pardon. The court is expected to decide whether to take cognizance of the charge sheet on 3rd of September. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has declared that he will take a firm stand against what he termed as Mia Muslims to prevent them from taking over Assam. Speaking at the Assembly, a debate on adjournment motion related to law and order situation, Himanta Biswa Sarma addressed concerns about a recent rape in Nagaon district. He argued that the crime rates have not risen significantly relative to population growth. Responding to opposition's accusations of bias, Himanta Biswa Sarma said that he will take sides. The debate grew heated, with members from both sides storming the assembly floor, leading to a 10-minute adjournment. Opposition parties, including Congress, CPIM and independent MLA Akhil Gagoi, had proposed motions to discuss increasing crimes, particularly those against women in the state. The Karnataka government has been urging the governor to expedite prosecution sanctions in several high-profile corruption cases. The cabinet has advised the governor to act swiftly on cases under Section 17A of the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. The case involves former BJP Minister Murugesh Nirani, Shashikala Jolly, Janardhan Reddy and former Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy, all of these people have been, which has been pending for some time now. The Congress and the BJP have escalated calls for actor politician M. Mukesh to resign as MLA following sexual harassment allegations. Mukesh, a CPIM legislator, has dismissed the claims as political drama reminiscent of 2018 and accused a group of blackmailing him as well. He demands a transparent investigation and vows legal action against his accusers. Opposition leaders including VD Satisan and BJP's K. Surendran have urged Mukesh and CPIM to make a decisive choice, citing societal expectations for the accountability in this case. The Kerala Pradesh Congress Committee criticized the government for allegedly shielding Mukesh and not acting on Justice Hema's panel report, which highlighted widespread harassment in the Malayalam film industry. The government, meanwhile, has even formed a special investigation team to address these allegations, which follow revelations of exploitation and abuse in the Malayalam industry.
Publication of the Hema Commission report, the entire film industry in Kerala is under cloud. I don't think that everybody working in the film field is guilty.
The BJP has announced its third list of 17 candidates for the J&K Assembly elections. Senior leader Devendra Singh Rana will contest from Nagrota constituency. Satish Sharma will represent Bilawar, previously held by former Deputy Chief Minister Nirmal Singh. The party has replaced Rohit Dubey with Baldev Raj Sharma for Mata Vaishno Devi seat. This updated list includes 10 candidates for the second phase and 19 for third phase of the elections. The Bihar Waqf Board has directed the evacuation of Govindpur village in Patna district, claiming the land under its jurisdiction. The village, which has a 95% Hindu population, is facing this directive amid opposition to the Waqf Board amendment bill from the RJD leader Tejasvi Yadav. Hindu residents argue that the land is rightfully theirs and that the Waqf Board claim is unfounded. An investigation by the district magistrate has even confirmed the villagers' ancestral rights, labeling the Waqf Board's claim as false. Former BCCI Secretary Shah has been officially appointed as the new chairman of the ICC, taking over from Greg Barclay on 1st of December. Will take over on 1st of December later this year. Shah's election, which was unopposed, received widespread backing from major cricket boards, including Cricket Australia and the England-Wales Cricket Board. In his inaugural statement, Shah committed to globalizing cricket, focusing on balancing various formats and expanding the sport into new markets. His leadership is anticipated to bring significant advancements in cricket global outreach and administrative efficiency. This marks a pivotal shift in the ICC's direction, promising a new era for international cricket. Let's now take a look at the business stories that we are tracking back home and from across the globe. Apple has announced plans to create up to 6 lakh jobs in the country by the end of the current financial year. This move of Apple on its expansion will be a significant development for the country. Government projects suggest that Apple's extensive manufacturing, sales and distribution network in India will generate between 5 lakh to 6 lakh jobs by the end of March next year. Apple's share of global production from India has increased from 7% in FY23 to 14% now. Reports indicate that Apple has now begun manufacturing the upcoming iPhone 16 Pro models in India, demonstrating a successful adaptation of its China-based production model to the Indian market. Bharatiya Airtel is set to discontinue its music streaming service in the next few months. The decision follows Airtel's announcement of strategic partnership with Apple, which will see Apple Music and Apple TV Plus content integrated into Airtel's Xstream, Wi-Fi and postpaid offerings. Airtel has even assured that all dedicated Wing Music employees will be reassigned within the company's broader ecosystem. An Airtel spokesperson even confirmed that the app will be sunsetted, but the company is committed to finding new roles for its Wing Music staff. The Telecom Regulatory Authority of India has introduced new regulations aimed at containing spam and phishing attacks via SMS. These rules are set to take effect starting 1st of September. These rules will require institutions such as banks and app-based services to register and whitelist their numbers by 31st of August in order to send OTPs and other messages. Under the new system, telecom companies will need to scan each message for suspicious content before it delivered it is delivered to the users. The updated rules are expected to impact the timeliness of transactional alerts as well. Several auto manufacturers have agreed to offer discounts between 1.5 to 3% on new vehicles for customers presenting a scrappage certificate. This initiative follows a meeting that was shared by Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari. Under the new scheme, Mercedes-Benz India has announced a flat discount of 25% on new vehicles applicable on top of any existing promotions. In fact, this is not a part of a broader effort by various vehicle manufacturers to support the the transition to newer vehicles, more efficient vehicles. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways stated that commercial vehicle manufacturers will offer discounts for a period of up to 2 years, while passenger vehicle manufacturers will provide discounts for a year at least. CEO Elon Musk has requested employees to submit one-page summaries of their accomplishments in order to qualify for their stock grants. Musk's email to employees emphasized the need to demonstrate their contributions and achievements to the leadership in order to be considered part of the anticipated stock awards. The request has intensified existing tensions among employees who have already been adjusting to significant changes following Musk's acquisition of the company. The report even highlights that the company has experienced delays in employee promotions with no clear explanation provided. There are clear indications that further layoffs may be on the horizon. Let's now take a look at international stories that we are tracking with key focus on the Middle East, with tensions only flaring up as a ceasefire deal still hangs in the balance. An airstrike targeting an apartment in the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis resulted in deaths of 6 individuals and injuries to 7 others. The attack resulted in significant destruction, with rescue workers and local civilians retrieving bodies from the rubble of the affected building. Among those confirmed dead were a woman and a young child. A girl at a hospital in the Gaza region. Local resident briefed on the impact of the strike stated that they struck the house and that there were children and his whole family who were targeted. The Israeli military released footage that showed rescue of a hostage that was found alone underground in Gaza region. This marks the first successful recovery of a living captive from Hamas' extensive tunnel network since the outbreak of the war. The 52-year-old Israeli man identified as Qaid Farhan was found during an operation that was launched in southern Gaza tunnel. The tunnel was believed to contain hostages, terrorists and explosives. The person was promptly transported to a hospital in Israel, where he reunited with his large Arab family in heartfelt and joyous reunion. The United Nations is set to initiate a critical polio vaccination campaign in the Gaza Strip amid growing concerns over the spread of the virus. The move comes as the threat of polio escalates in the Gaza region, where one case has already been confirmed and several others are suspected. The virus has also been detected in wastewater at 6 different locations in the region. As of July, aid organizations are calling for an urgent pause in the ongoing conflict to facilitate the vaccination campaign and prevent a full-fledged outbreak.
Also, a few more details on polio, as we have seen some disinformation regarding the polio vaccine that we plan to use in Gaza, and I want to make the following clear. The safest and most effective way to protect children against the polio virus, regardless of the variant, is to vaccinate them, of course. UNICEF, UNRWA and the World Health Organization are planning to roll out a campaign in Gaza to prevent the spread of the variant type 2 polio virus. This will be done in 2 rounds, each consisting of 2 drops of oral polio vaccine type 2. This vaccine is safe, it is effective, and it offers top quality protection.
Authorities in Rio de Janeiro have been intensifying efforts to dismantle illegally constructed residential buildings in the city's in the locations. This action is followed by revelations that drug trafficking groups have been behind these developments. The city's public order department has identified that both terror groups and drug traffickers are using illegal housing market as means of money laundering. Since 2021, Rio de Janeiro has demolished more than 4,000 such buildings, primarily in areas controlled by local gangs. This crackdown has inflicted significant financial losses on these criminal organizations, amounting to more than 1 billion. In fact, that amounts to a large, which is a large amount. Mexican president has announced that he has put relations with the US and Canadian embassies on pause following his criticism of his proposed judicial overhaul. This controversial plan, introduced by Obrador in the final weeks of his presidency, includes a provision that would require judges to be elected, a move that has sparked significant protest, strikes, and other criticism from investors and financial institutions. US ambassador had previously described the judicial overhaul as a risk to democracy and warned it could jeopardize Mexico's commercial relationship with the US. Vice presidential nominee Senator J.D. Vance has used a campaign appearance in Big Rapids, Michigan on Tuesday to criticize Vice President Kamala Harris and her handling of the US economy. J.D. Vance, while speaking to a local audience, accused Kamala Harris of failing in her role as Vice President. On the other hand, while expressing frustration with both Harris and Governor Tim Walz, J.D. Vance emphasized his optimism for America's future, linked this hope to potential election of himself and former President Donald Trump, suggesting their leadership would bring positive changes in the country.
Now, my favorite line from Kamala is she says, if you elect her president, she's going to fix it all on day one. Well, Kamala, I hate to break it to you, but day one was 1,300 days ago. You've been vice president for 3.5 years. What the hell have you been doing during all that time? The message from this crowd and this state of Michigan is you had your chance, you're failed, and we're not giving you a promotion. And Donald J. Trump is coming back to clean up your mess, Kamala Harris, and it's going to start right here in the state of Michigan.
Thousands of indigenous people from southwestern Colombia took part in protests pressing President Petro government to address escalating violence caused by illegal armed groups. The protesters, who have been camped out in downtown park since arriving from Coca a week ago, are calling for measures to protect their territories and ensure their legal rights. The protesters even marched peacefully through downtown, waving red and green flags and playing traditional music with wooden flutes. The indigenous movement demands reflects broader concerns about security and territorial integrity amid Colombia's complex peace process amid the ongoing violence. An explosion at Delta Airlines maintenance facility near Atlanta International Airport has resulted in deaths of 2 workers and left another seriously injured. The incident occurred at the airline's wheel and brake shop. According to initial reports, a tire on a plane exploded that led to a tragic event. The exact cause of the explosion is still under investigation by Delta and local authorities. Several units from the Atlanta Fire Department and police were dispatched to the scene. Shortly after this incident was reported, Delta Airlines further issued a statement expressing profound sorrow over the incident. A series of large fires erupted on the hills above the popular Croatian hotspot of Split, creating danger for nearby suburbs. The fire, fueled by strong winds, have quickly spread, endangering several homes in the area. Multiple other fires continue to threaten residential properties. In response to the escalating situation, several homes have been evacuated as a precautionary measure. Residents and officials remain on high alert as efforts are on to manage the situation and prevent further escalation and damage. A dramatic flash flood struck a region near Grand Canyon National Park. This has led to evacuation of hundreds of hikes and tribal members last week. The affected area is accessible only by a mule, a multi-hour hike, or a helicopter. The challenging terrain complicated evacuation efforts and response operations. Emergency crews acted swiftly to evacuate the numerous individuals who were caught in the flood's path. Despite extensive evacuation efforts, one hiker still remains missing. Authorities have reported that flood waters carried her away into powerful current of the creek. Search and rescue operations have been engaged in efforts to locate and assist in tracking the missing hiker.
Especially at the Havasu Falls section, that was crystal blue when we first walked over, to see the amount of water that was racing over that, knowing that that's all continuing to go down and just continuing to build. And I just, at that point, I realized that this is definitely a life-threatening situation.
Welcome back. You're watching Quick Morning. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Let's get started with all the action that you're tracking from the world of sports. With the Summer Olympics over, Paris is gearing up for the Paralympics running from 28th of August till 8th of September. The city will host around 4,400 para-athletes competing in 23 disciplines. Key venues including Place de la Concorde will be readied for events like wheelchair rugby and para-athletics. The opening ceremony of First Outsider Stadium will take place at a Palace de Concorde, Paris 2024. President Tony aims to leverage the Olympic momentum to challenge perceptions of disability. Most Olympic venues will be reused with additional security measures in place, including 25,000 police officers. Cristiano Ronaldo had a standout performance in Al Nassr 4-1 away win against his opponent in the Saudi League. Ronaldo contributed significantly by scoring 1 goal and providing an assist. His involvement was pivotal in securing the dominant victory for Al Nassr. This result helps Al Nassr maintain their strong position in the league standings. NASCAR will hold its first points race outside the US in Mexico City, featuring the Cup Series and NASCAR Mexico Series. Previously, only exhibition races were held internationally, with Cup Series racing in Japan and Australia. The race will take place at the Rodriguez 4-kilometer track down from hosting Formula One events. This marks a historic move as NASCAR expands its global outreach.
So we can't wait to bring our NASCAR Cup Series, our most premier series, here next year. We're gonna have Daniel Suarez behind the wheel, as well as some of our biggest names in our sport, to be broadcast live on Amazon Prime Video for those watching in the United States. In addition to that, if some of you remember, we also had our NASCAR Xfinity Series here from 2005 to 2008. So 17 years since our Xfinity Series has been here. We're also gonna bring them on that same weekend. And then last but not least, with Jimmy Morales, we're going to be bringing our NASCAR Mexico Series here. A really important series as we think about the pipeline and the future drivers of our sport.
Now, the HEMA panel report on sexual abuses in Malayalam industry has sent shockwaves in the industry. Let's get started getting you the details of what the HEMA panel report entails. HEMA panel report has jolted the Malayalam film industry amid several accusations of sexual abuse by members of the body. After Mohanlal tendering his resignation, official statement stated that a new committee will continue to function in the interim period. Earlier this month, a revised version of Justice HEMA panel committee report on harassment faced by women in Malayalam cinema industry was made public. It contained shocking accounts alleging harassment, exploitation and ill treatment of women professionals. The 235-page report, published after redacting the names of witnesses and the accused, notes that the Malayalam film industry is controlled by about 10 to 5 male producers, directors and actors who dominate and exert control over the industry as a whole. After Kerala, it is Kolkata, where over 100 female artists from the Bengal film industry have written an open letter seeking a safer workplace. This comes amid outrage over the Kolkata rape and murder case and the sexual harassment allegation against Malayalam film directors. Among the signatories of this letter, which was also sent to the Eastern India Motion Picture Association and West Bengal Motion Picture Artists Forum, were director Aparna Sen, actors Rupa Ganguly, Swastika Mukherjee and others. British rock band Oasis is reuniting for a tour of British Isles next summer. The band is known for their timeless hits like Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger. This reunion ends a 15-year hiatus and presumably the long-held feud between brothers and Noel Gallagher. Oasis note was split in 2009 after many years of infighting, with Noel officially leaving the band just before a performance at a festival near Paris. Fans were seen celebrating after the band announced their reunion. Meanwhile, preparations are on for the 81st Venice Film Festival. Film fans, industry professionals, press and security are gearing up for the starriest edition of the fest in many years. Director Tim Burton will kick off the event with sequel Beetlejuice. This year's festival is expected to be back in full scale after 2023 edition was heavily affected by the Hollywood strikes, causing films to pull out and actors to stay away. The Broadway musical Soups hosted a special roll call celebration to celebrate Women Equality Day and the 104th anniversary of ratification of America's 19th Amendment. The Tony Award-winning play included notable guests such as Audra McDonald, Will Swesson, and Kelly O'Hara. The celebration commemorated the date that Tennessee became the 36th state to ratify the 19th Amendment. Well, that's all we have for you in this edition of Quick Morning, but do not go anywhere. Top stories to continue after this very short break.